Do you feel that conversations around diversity in tech are too narrow in their scope? I mean, do they need to be broader and more inclusive?
I think so. I find that the conversations, when you say diversity, it kind of automatically means women, which is a lot more, or it'll be women and minorities. It always seems to kind of focus more on that, which is obviously important, being a woman myself, but I would like to hear different perspectives from all kinds of different people, because to me diversity means just different people. So it could be something as basic as gender, ethnicity, but even things like personalities and the cultural differences of age. So there's a lot of conversations I think are sort of being left out or maybe overshadowed a little bit.
So the actual term needs to be more diverse, is that right?
Yeah, because I find that even when I tell people that I'm making a bigger effort to talk about diversity in tech, and I might even explain a few things, and it kind of defaults, oh, that's so great, you're talking about women in tech. And I don't want to take away from that voice, but sometimes it's just a little, I kind of want to remind them that there's other things when you talk about diversity as well.
How do you redirect that? Do you sometimes let it go, sometimes address it?
It depends. If it's kind of a short conversation, then I just,
sure.
It starts the conversation at least, even if it just starts with women. If I have more time to get into it, then I will expand a little bit more.
What people or organizations are doing important work related to diversity in tech?
Well, I'm currently working with Ladies Learning Code out in Toronto, and so we are focused on women primarily, just to bring more confidence to women in tech in general. We do a lot of beginner workshops, and we actually just ran our first 2-day event. So that's one of the initiatives that I recently started working with, and I'm kind of just getting new into this as well. So there's a couple projects I guess I've been following, like Yes We Code, and what was the other one, Black Girls Code, and just a few American projects that I've been seeing, and just kind of just following people on Twitter and stuff, and just trying to kind of be in the space a little bit more.
What do you think are the first steps that need to be taken to really start addressing this issue? I mean, is it fundamentally a cultural issue? I
think it is, and I think the first step is sort of agreeing that it really exists. As much as there are people out there sort of championing these events, there's these issues, there's still a lot of people that sort of fall back on, oh, it's a pipeline issue, it's meritocracy. I think we need to just sort of just say, yes, this is a problem. And the harder thing is we have to kind of look at ourselves and see if we are continuing to perpetuate the bias somehow. And I think that's what the hard part is, because we don't want to admit that maybe we are kind of keeping this going on.
Do you feel like, you mentioned that admitting that it's a problem, do you feel like that we're getting closer to at least that point before doing the personal introspection?
It's hard to say. I think maybe it depends on the day that you ask me.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think with me being more open to talking about it now, I've met more people who have felt the same way. And on the other hand, it almost feels fashionable to kind of say that this is a problem. And I've sort of run into that as well, where people will address the issue but not really understand it. And it's hard to tell somebody that they're not really helping.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Right. Last question for you. What people or projects are you following these days?
Again, just sort of Twitter is my big way to sort of be in touch with the community at large. There's this new group called the Fat Startup, and they just recently did like a tech conference mixed with hip hop not too long ago. So that's something that's pretty interesting. Yep, with a PH. Nice. So that was pretty interesting to sort of see tech in a much different space than what I'm usually seeing. So that's something I'm kind of keeping an eye on and see how that grows.
Great. Thank you for being with us.
All right. Thank you.